I'm the man on the mic.
And I'm the guy on the bike.
And this is a Velo29 podcast for the new year. Woo woo.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody. Not sure we can put the word happy in front of New Year, but we're doing it, Rich. We are on
still
this.
Smiling. We're doing our best.
Putting on the gloves. We are putting on the coats. We are trying to keep warm, even indoors, because it is the new year, mate. How do you feel?
Cold, actually. My door was frozen to get out of the house this morning. You've had to go get a blanket.
I've had to get a blanket because my heating's not working. So I've got my blanket on.
It's just an excuse. Sit there all day with a granny blanket. It's all very nice.
No, I've got a leaky boiler, love. Got a leaky boiler.
No.
And it then causes the electrics to cut out. So we've had to switch that off.
I'm going to watch that. It sounds rather dangerous.
It could be, couldn't it? Anyway, there we are. So, yeah.
We're back.
Happy New Year and all that.
Yeah. Series 4, we're calling it. We sort of rolled Series 3.
Really?
Well, yeah, I thought we'll call it Series 4 because we did blocks of 10, didn't we? I think we actually did an 11th in Series 3, but just because it was Christmas and New Year and stuff. So New Year, new series.
Series 4 of the podcast. Who'd have thought when we did the first one in May or whatever it was? Who'd have thought that we'd done 30 plus?
5th of May, wasn't it? We'll annualise soon.
Annualise?
Yeah, it's a big word.
What does that mean?
I think it means we've done a year.
All right, okay.
That's what I'm taking it as, anyway.
So I guess we have to kind of speak about the elephant in the room, which is lockdown 3.0. For those looking back on this in 20 years' time. This is the third lockdown. And I guess it's going to affect your events quite dramatically. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Firstly, how are things? How have you been? Have you had a good Christmas? Have you managed to make the most of whatever this is right now?
I definitely made the most. My wife and we love Christmas. She gets excited about it from about October onwards.
That late?
So she had an excuse to put the tree up early this year. So that was good. But we don't have a massive family. We don't invite. We've done little parties and stuff over the years just for local friends and things. So obviously we couldn't do any of that. But we got to see couple of grannies and actually that was about it. My dad came around and we just kept it within the rules, dead quiet, and it was nice in a different way. I wouldn't like every year to be the same, but it was all right. And I think I saw pictures of you with the immediate family on social media. Looked like you got to see the boy and girl.
Yeah, me two grown-up kids, they got back in and that was lovely, but we are a big family. I've got 6 brothers and 3 sisters, and all scattered around.
10 of you?
Yeah. You know why I'm like that. Did you not, Rich? You know why I'm like this, mate? When you're competing with 9 others, you've got to have a gobble, you starve. It's like that little chick in the nest, you know? You've got to make a lot of noise. My parents were foster and adoptive parents, so they just collected children for fun, basically. You know, like Tesco club card points. I think they got 100 points every time they got a new sibling or something. It was a bit like that. So for me, we've got a massive extended family all over the country, and normally, Boxing Day, something like that, we'll all try and gather at someone's house and have a massive do. And of course, we couldn't do that. My dad's 82. He lives in Staffordshire with one of my brothers who's Down syndrome, who's obviously in need of a lot of care. So, it's we haven't seen them at all. I've still got this massive bag of presents, which I get for Stuart every year. And I don't know what to do with it because I can't post it up. It's a huge bag full.
We were talking about doing some at Easter or whenever.
That's what we're going to do.
Family get together and do that.
Yeah, so
you'll have presents.
Yeah, it was us in the immediates, which was lovely. You have to make the most of what you can right now, isn't it? Yeah. But the ability to kind of go and see everybody, that just wasn't going to happen. I think you're right. I think we just have to kind of put everything on hold and kind of start doing those things again, probably from Easter onwards, we hope.
That's the hope. And I've lost my shaver as well. I can't have.
I've noticed.
I was looking for.
To not get you a new shaver, Rich.
No, I didn't. No, you got me a new toothbrush, but no shaver. I can't find my other one. I did find. I've dug out some medals and I've started sticking them on my shelf here.
Nice.
There's the no nails that I was sticking them on with. I'll move that. Good. Brand placement. And I found the trophy as well. Not that it was.
Go on, tell me about the trophy, Rich.
Yeah, then if you can see, I'll try it. That's the Northeast Trophy, which was always. That was one of the first things we ever did. And we used to put on at the end of the winter series a elite 1, 2, 3, 4 just a single race. It was 30 laps across, and it was massive. We used to get 150 riders, and all the elites were kind of doing their first big race. But then the calendar, our winter series was so successful. Everybody else wanted to do something in that period of time, so we started getting squeezed. Like we didn't have a right to the date, it seemed. So we started to get squeezed on the winter series, and Northeast Trophy was dead expensive to put on, and we had to cancel it a few years because we had to put it so early, and the snow came, and it just sort of didn't work. So we then started awarding it to the winner of the winter series. So it's a lovely trophy. It's got some. That's nice. James Falconer, Stephen Parsonage, Matt Kipling, Team Rally, Steve Lampier, Andrew Scott. Some good, 2011, Matt Kipling, the first one.
I only ever got 2 trophies, Rich.
Yeah?
I only ever got 2 trophies. I got second place, Northwest Robotics Championship, 1983, Blackburn Town Hall.
Robotics, as in Peter Crouch.
Yeah, proper, not Peter Crouch, but like proper robotics, Baco foil and the lot, mate. Northwest Quiz Team Champion.
Quiz Team Champion. Hence your illustrious career in.
There you go. 1985. We had to turn up at a concert in order to receive our trophy. It was a schools team, and we won it. But we had to go and pick it up at a concert. You have to guess what the concert was that we had to go to pick up the trophy.
What, like a musical gig?
Yeah, it was a gig. 1985.
85. Culture
Black Lace, mate.
Black Lace. I could do.
We had to go to the Black Lace concert and wait till the end in order to pick up our trophy. It was appalling. I was 15 and a goth. Do you know what I mean?
That's how they guaranteed some attendance at the concert, I suppose.
At the Black Lace concert, yeah. So there's my trophy stories. That's all I've got to tell you.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
All right. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Because I guess we've got to, like we said, deal with the elephant in the room. Winter series, gigs, events, what? Gone?
Yeah, wiped out. We put all the effort in November, December. We put together what the new format of the winter series would be. The daisy chain. We put a new route together that was really great. That was the charity spot we do on the 27th.
27th, yeah.
Our freedom to rides we put onto the Croft. Tied them in with the winter series, and then we promoted and got some new events for the sprint sportive series, which was becoming increasingly popular. Of course, we had in the back of our minds, we always said the coronavirus wave is gonna rise during.
It was always possible. It was always lurking in the background, wasn't it?
Almost certain. So, but we didn't know. All right, we might have to cancel some events. There might be further restrictions. But I think there's the government say things like middle of February, then they say in the next breath March, Easter, all these things. And so I
Christmas.
think, well, yeah, that was Professor Whitty's statement.
Somebody did say you might not get a Christmas again. It's like, really?
Yeah. Talk about motivating a nation. Right?
I think they said there might still be restrictions by Christmas. The thing is, I mean, I know this is a cycle podcast, but this virus is going to be with us now, and we kind of just have to accept that, like flu, we will have inoculations and vaccines, but it's always going to be with us, and we're going to live with that, aren't we?
We are. Yeah, we are. Getting people vaccinated is going to make a massive difference.
Exactly, that'll make all the difference. Really.
Well, I think we'll have to climb that mountain again this year, won't we? Because there'll be, if it's like flu, they take the 3 most common strains of it that year, and that's what they inject everybody with. And so
Exactly.
there'll
And
be an
that's what it's
element
gonna be.
of that. And this year we'll all be much more apprehensive and excited about what that new round of vaccinations means. And there'll be that mountain to climb. But I would expect that, like you say, it's slowly that just becomes a bit of normality.
But the challenge is for us in the events, and sports industry, is it's that insecurity and that not knowing. I mean, normally for me personally, by 2nd, 3rd of January, I've got a big wall planner.
Yeah.
And I've got all these penciled in dates. There's nothing necessarily kind of concrete, but everything. Joe, are you around in May, June, July, August? Right, and I start to cross them off, and I've got nothing. Yeah. Literally nothing, not even penciled in.
People are not. As an organizer, I'll be one of the people who book you normally, won't I? And I'm thinking, right, by this point in time of the year, I've normally got all my events sorted. I've booked all my headquarters. I've booked all my feed stations and all of the people involved, like yourself. That's a lot of work. And initially, sort of November time, thinking, right, let's roll up our sleeves and get into that. Now you're thinking, well, if I do it once and I have to change the date, it's really like doing it twice. So I might as well wait. And so I guess everybody sat there in that boat now. But there is an impact to that, of course, isn't there? Because a lot of people, you wait so long, and you think, I'm just not going to bother. Where events are not non-commercial. And
I mean, from my perspective, I'm taking jobs at the moment that might mean that that's it for me in that business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I may have to hang up my boots. I'm not hoping not to, but I may have to, because the mortgage comes first.
Well, people will find other work outside of the events industry, and they might find actually they prefer that.
I don't want to do anything else. I've never known anything else. But I've taken a 1-year hit. How much longer can I do that? And a lot of people are feeling the same. How are you feeling from that perspective? I mean, business-wise, you're hanging in there, I guess.
Hanging in there. We talked about before how we restructured the costs of the company so that we sort of expect that we will be cancelling events and we'll be giving people refunds based around that, and so it's not going to be the end of the world like it was last year if we have to do that. But it was Monday we went into lockdown, and right, okay, and then come to my desk Tuesday morning, and it was like it's starting again, and all that anxiety, and there was a couple of emails of people who have been like starting with that pointed tone. I've emailed you twice. I've rang you already. It's 8:15, and you haven't got back to me. This is very unprofessional. And it's just surfacing that behaviour that really got me down in March and April last year. And I started to think, here we go. And but it was short-lived. And then we got back to the sympathetic kind of and the positive words of people saying, "Keep up the good work, guys. Do you mind me asking if the sprint event's going ahead in Penrith or something like that?" And so you can deal with that, and you've got to look upon it as that's our engagement now, and it's okay. But it was a bit Tuesday morning. I wasn't in the best mood.
I mean, we've all got to try and kind of take a breath, haven't we? I mean, I was tempted to start emailing some of my regulars and say, what's happening, but I know full well that that's not going to make any difference. We've all got to take that deep breath and go, okay, this is affecting everybody. We're all in the same boat, and we've all got to be a little bit more understanding, I guess.
I think that was one of the guys got the brunt of my frustration, and I think that was actually. I think I said, invest the time you would normally use replying to me with some smart ass remark by thinking about how you address others, or words to that effect.
Good man.
We talked about, didn't we? We used to be as accommodating as possible, and the customer is always right, and that kind of thing. And then we got this sort of thing does move you to a little bit. I'm not going to deal with you. I'd rather you didn't come to the event. And actually, the guy in question, and I don't know if he listens to the pod, and he won't mind me talking. I'm not going to name him or anything, but he immediately wrote back and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I just got frustrated." And it ended rather nicely.
I love you.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then I thought, well, good. I'm glad I told you that.
And sometimes we all need a kick up the arse, but it's tough. It's tough, and there is that sense of whoever you speak to. I mean, I'm back on my kind of daily 5-mile walk. I've not got on a bike yet, I'll be honest, but I'm doing my walk, and you don't know how people are feeling. And mostly speaking, people are anxious, and we have to be aware of that. Whoever you bump into, whoever you speak to, whoever you email to, might be on the brink of, I've had enough of this.
You just don't know, do you?
Yeah.
I think, that's a good, regardless of being in a pandemic, that's a good way of approaching people.
It is.
But I suppose for people looking for clarity, the winter series, the racing winter series at Croft, it's definitely cancelled. It was going to be last 3 Saturdays in January, first 2 in February, I think. And no suggestion of ending a lockdown before the middle of February has been made by anybody. So that's out of the question. The circuit is closed. The circuit's closed till the end of February. So that means we can't do any of the freedom to rides.
Oh, no more royalties for me either then?
No, I'm afraid not. No.
By the way, I don't get any royalties anymore. Carry on.
So no freedom to rides. If you've entered that, then you can just log on and get your refund sorted yourself, and that's what you should do. If you want to do something different to that, drop us an email. The first round of the Sprint Sportive series was at Croft. That was 23rd of January, I think. That can't take place either. 100% that can't take place. So we've cancelled that. If you've entered that, log on and do your refund. Get in touch if you don't want to do that. Then the events after that are to the latter part of February, and there's no logic in cancelling those right now. So we're going to just see what happens. There's 2 rounds of the Sprint Sportive, so they're still there. Don't bother entering. I think we've closed them for entries anyway. But see what happens with those. You never know. Then we get into March. March is our biggest month.
I was going to say March is the big month for you guys, isn't it? I know my diary kind of starts with you guys in March.
Yeah.
And where are we with that? I mean, that's touch and go, is it not?
If you listen to all the experts in our government, they're talking about easing restrictions through February, aren't they? And getting and I have no idea what that'll look like, but it would be.
I think it'll all end in tears again.
Well, it could. Yeah, it could. So York Leeds York is
IETIERS.
Yeah.
We'll be back in those tiers, and you'll be not knowing whether we're in.
Yeah.
The event's in 3, but I'm in 4, and it'll be that again.
Could happen, couldn't it? Yeah. So I'm concerned about York. I'm looking for a contingency to change the date for York, because that's 6th of March, and not sure about that. Lancashire the week after, Daffodils the week after that, Cheshire Cat the week after that. So I'm hopeful that middle of March, end of March, we're able to do events, and I'll look back now to September, October, the good old days of September and October. It seems like, you know, when you look back in your childhood and it was always sunny, or there was 6 foot of snow. It's like that. We were stood in Bakewell. It was 30 degrees and everybody was smiling, and that was the good old days. Didn't feel it at the time, but
a point on that is that you proved that even during restrictions and even during, issues, we were still able to have events. So hopefully, if the restrictions aren't too strict, we'll still be able to do something, won't we?
I think so. I think that's the hope, that as soon as possible, hopefully it's early March, if not, it's middle to late March, we get back to the similar restrictions that we had in the latter part of last year. And if that happens, great, we can do our events, we'll maintain our new systems, and everything will be all right again. If it goes beyond that, it's gonna make the year a bit chewy again, but we'll sort it out. We'll move the events. We'll do new events, and we'll get in loads of rides this year. I'm sure about that.
You always do. So right now, what would you be saying to cyclists that are wanting to kind of, do something even in lockdown? Is it back to the indoor trainers, or is there anything else?
Well, I would say have your normal winter training stuff. So because we're blessed with cycling to a large extent, that in lockdown, other than riding in groups, you can largely do it. I did check the wording on the government website, and British Cycling was seeking more clarity in it, because it does say you should exercise in your town, city, or village. And clearly, for cycling, riding around a village, it's quite prohibitive. But I think that's about requiring help from others and going into other shops or whatever it is and stuff like that. And you know, we all know you can go for a ride of whatever and be self-sufficient. So some people can do a mile, some people can do 100 and be self-sufficient. So I think interpretation of that carefully. But really, I would just, you know, the big event, you know, York Leeds York was always our get back to big events, 6th of March. It's not going to be long after that. If it's not then, it's not going long after then. So just continue doing what you were doing. You know, I'm looking out the window. The ground is frozen. We wouldn't be riding today anyway. So if you're lucky enough to have an indoor trainer, I'm hammering my Zwift at present. I did my Alpe d'Huez sub 1 hour challenge for the first time yesterday, and I got up in 57 minutes. I was pleased with that.
Man,
it was the only time I've timed myself up the real climb. I think I was 17 or 18. And I got up in 46 minutes.
Wow.
But I was pretty pleased to only be 10 minutes slower.
That's a good taxi ride, that is, mate. That is a good taxi ride. Oh.
Having aged 30 years nearly, only 10 minutes slower, and there's work to do. So stuff like that, I would just be enjoying yourself as much as possible. Don't lose heart at all. And if you can't get out, I have, you know, I'm lucky to have a couple of bit of weight equipment at home. But if you don't have, so much stuff on YouTube and what have you about doing strength training with a bucket of water or a car battery. You know, I know a mate who's got a broom shank and some paint tins, and just do any, you know, do stretching, core strength, all those kind of things. I would just be doing those and using the time as productively as possible, because if you don't exercise, the people who listen to this, I know, are all...
I've gone old school, mate. I'm back on the Wii Fit. You know, I've gone old school.
They're good. They're really good. It's a good workout, isn't it? So yeah, just do what. Don't lose heart. Do what you would have been doing, because we're only going to lose a couple of events and get back to.
And I think that's key, isn't it? You know, that throughout all of this, a positive attitude, a positive outlook, whatever it is, does make a huge difference. And I think if people can just try and stay positive and realize that, yes, for the short term, things are the way they are, but it is going to get better. What that looks like, we don't know, but it is going to get better. And that positive mentality, that ability just to maybe, you know, like I said, pause, give people a little bit more, you know, benefit of the doubt than maybe we normally will make a difference.
Well, yeah. What did we call? We talked about that a couple of pods ago, didn't we? Where you get spreading the joy points or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I can't remember exactly what it was. It sounded like a really good idea. I'll have to listen back to a couple of ones, because
I never know what we talk about, mate. We just talk.
We do. I listen to the pods. You know, I find I think I said before, it might be rather sad, but I actually quite enjoy listening to it. It gets the statistics up.
Yeah, Rich has listened in 47 times.
Yeah. Whoever the 48th is, keep listening.
Thanks, mate. Anyway, I guess that's probably it for us.
I think so.
We're certainly up on our times. So, mate, you know, upbeat, positive, try and take each day at a time, and I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So I did want to invite people to come for a virtual ride with me as well. Well, actually, Daisy Chain, we did, and I just wanted a quick thanks to everybody who supported that. So a few of us did a virtual event, which was 50 kilometers. We did it live on Facebook. Loads, I think 2,000 people watched me ride.
It was a really good tuning, wasn't it?
For an hour and a half, which I don't know, but thank you for doing so. But because everyone left their entry fees in, we heard from a couple of people who'd raised, one guy, he'd raised 400 and something pound of his own accord as well. He gave that to the charity. So the charity, they track the donations through the links that we use. So they're just working out. But we think because of everyone's generosity, despite not doing the event, we actually have contributed as much money as we did in previous years.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's unbelievable.
That's really good, mate.
The charity didn't expect it. And they were saying they can't believe it. They were really moved, and how essential that donation is right now, because they need it more, but they're getting less than ever before. So that was really great. So thanks everybody who
that's
contributed.
Brilliant. I mean, this is one of the reasons why my diary is so different, because 70% of the work I've started doing in the last 3 or 4 years are charity events.
Yeah.
And those events just can't go. They just cannot happen. I mean, for Macmillan, for example, I was doing huge events for them. They were raising 5 million a year through their events alone, and that's a huge chunk of money that at the moment they can't do.
Well,
so anything, what I'm saying is anything, like, even
do your bits.
Anything you can do will make a difference for charity at the moment.
We help with the cancer research. Selby, it's a big event. They get 1,200 people. And I emailed the guy the other day just to ask, did he have a date fit in our calendar? And I got an auto response. He'd been made redundant. So obviously, it is impacting people who work for. And, you don't get rich working for a charity, do you? And I'm sure they do. There's an enjoyment in it. But those people work. They're giving a lot of their life, and then sort of for them to be made redundant, it's really sad.
It's tough.
But I was going to say, follow me on Zwift, Richard Williamson 90. Love to go for a virtual ride with any of you guys. You can give me a hard time. You choose the route, and we'll have a bit of fun doing that, and we can have a chat and everything. So that'd be really great.
Well done.
Cool. Well, thanks, everyone.
I will virtually commentate for you from my lounge.
That's a good idea. Yeah. We can give you the best virtual commentators trophy. You can have your 3rd trophy.
You're all right.
We'll play some Black Lace.
Oh, well, let's not. I don't know what happened to that trophy. I think we threw it in the end. Anyway, all the best, mate.
All the best.
Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Stay safe, people. Follow the rules. We'll get out of this. For now.
Take care. Bye.